Can we all just admit we got some really good memes from Best Girl in this episode of My Hero Academia? So it's been a while. It's been a good week. It's been almost 2 weeks since a My Hero Academia episode came out, and it's been a very long and excruciating wait. Because it wasn't just the anime that was on a brief break, it was also the manga. And so I'm glad to finally have the anime back, because I think by now, all of you, anime-onlys, manga readers, all of you, together, you know how much I have been enjoying this series. And so not having it when I wake up on Saturday morning, it was like there was a hole in my chest. And I was like, I need my Hero Academia. Like, I need more of this series. It's such a fantastic watch. It really just brightens up my day. And I was glad to be able to wake up this morning. Actually, I didn't even go to sleep, to be honest. But I mean, I was just glad to be able to watch My Hero Academia early in the morning, like I normally did throughout these past other weeks, since it's been airing for Season 3. But okay, we are finally back, and we have a new opening song, and I think I want to dive into that first before I get into the content of this newest episode. The opening song. Gonna be honest here, I'm gonna miss, the Ideal song. It had so much weight and meaning to the events that was going on throughout that arc, but also what continues to happen throughout the series. And I want to be honest here, I don't believe the opening that we got with this episode is better than Don't Lose Your Ideals, but at the same time, this is not a bad opening. I believe the more I watch it, the more I see the visuals with it, and then continue to see the events unfold in the anime, I feel like I'm going to fall in love with the opening, because that's typically what happens with My Hero Academia openings. I've seen it every single time when a new season starts with a new opening. Something like this typically happens. Like, I talk about it, like, for the first episode review or whatever, when, the new opening comes out, I'm like, opening's good and all that, but I'm like, it's not as good as the previous. That's usually what I say, honestly. You can go back and check all the other videos I've done. That's usually what I say, and that's pretty much my exact same thoughts. But like all of us, I think the more we will listen to this opening song, the more we'll fall in love with it, and the more we're like, this fits, this is perfect. And I admit, the visuals and the music and all that, it is great. It's a really good song. Visually, holy crap, the stuff within that. I'm not going to get into, like, certain details because of spoilers, like, I'm not going to explain them, but I am going to showcase certain, like, little scenes I saw in the opening song that I personally like. For instance, the Todoroki and Endeavor stuff. That, I'm just gonna say right now, visually, Bones, I know what you're doing there. Like, I see it. I see what you're doing, Studio Bones. And, I'm just gonna say this right now, anime only. Is that what you saw in the opening? That right there, that's pretty big. It's pretty big. I'm not gonna go any further than that, but I was really surprised to see something like that take front and center kind of in the opening song, because that's gonna be, honestly, very important for, the next season. Not this season, but next season, yeah. Now, we also get to see a bunch of different characters that are going to be in this upcoming arc. I'm not going to go into certain details, because spoiler reasons, obviously, but all the characters we see in the opening, which, you know what character I'm talking about, I'll probably show her on screen. I'm excited to finally see her animated, and I think many manga readers can agree with me that we are very happy to finally get to hear her for the first time. I'm excited to see how she's going to sound like. I'm really curious on her voice actor and how her character is going to be portrayed. But also, I especially love the little visual nod to Izuku and how he's changing. For instance, you see at the beginning of the opening song, you see All Might's, like, hair. You know how he has, like, that weird hair, like, points and stuff? And you know how it, like, moves in the wind? You even saw that in the last opening song, actually, towards the end. But basically, you see All Might's, like, tip of his hair, and all of a sudden you see Izuku's costume pop up, which represents Izuku carrying on the will of All Might. He's trying to become the next, symbol of peace. He's trying to become the next pillar for Hero Society, and I just love that visually, the way the opening song started off with that, because as we all are fully aware now, All Might, he's gone. Regardless of how you feel about All Might, no matter how much you love him as a character or anything, he is no longer going to be able to be a hero. He cannot rush in there and fight like he used to, because One for All is gone. He can't, be a hero anymore. He's effectively retired. And so Izuku has to carry on that legacy. And that opening song starting off with something like that is very emotional, because every single opening song, honestly, if you go back to watch them yourself, I'm pointing this out to you now, anime onlys, you will see how Izuku has always had this, like, symbolic theme with All Might throughout the opening songs, either with chains, or how he's breaking chains, or how he's, looks very similar to All Might the way the opening song depicts him, and that's been a constant thing throughout the opening songs. I've never really got into it because it's spoilers, and now that we finally saw what happened to All Might, what Izuku's having to go through, I can talk about it. Basically, the opening songs have constantly shown how Izuku has been similar to All Might. He's like an imposter. He has like imposter syndrome, or whatever the proper term to it. And finally, for the first time, you see where he's trying to stop imitating All Might. He's going down a different path. For instance, when you see him using his shoot style in this episode, you even actually get to see it in the opening song, by the way, if you really look closely, but he's now using his legs to fight, which makes him completely different from All Might, because when you think of All Might, you think of punches, the United States of Smash going in and all that with his fist, which, oh my god, is epic and all that, but Izuku, instead of just using his fist, he's gonna be using his legs, and that changes up his overall style of fighting from what we have seen, because he's no longer going to be using his fist to fight. It's pretty cool. It will change the entire dynamic of certain fights we get in the series because of how he's going to fight from now on to not destroy his arms. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of what makes him using his legs better than his arms. If you know about the human body and all that, then most likely you've already come to a conclusion of what this means for Izuku, but in due time, all of this will be explained, so do not worry. But for now, though, Izuku is going to be using his legs shoot style, and I cannot wait to see certain things animated with shoot style. I've been excited about it ever since it was introduced in the manga, and this upcoming arc is going to be a really good, depiction of what Izuku is going to be capable of in the future parts of the series. Now, one thing I do want to mention, though, is also one other aspect of the opening song, which is Bakugo and Izuku walking side by side past All Might. Many looking at the scene in the opening song might assume that they're behind All Might standing tall and all that, and he's protecting them and all that. But if you look at the way the image is depicted in the opening, it's like Bakugo and Izuku has walked past All Might. For instance, let's say I'm All Might for a second, which I don't even compare to that man. I mean, that man is just too godlike compared to me. But basically, I'm standing here as All Might and all that, like a pillar and all that, but then two symbols of society that can hold the weight of what I'm about to leave behind walks on past me to continue their journey to be able to become heroes. That's what that scene symbolized as, is that Bakugo and Izuku, they're walking down a path to go further than All Might ever did, because All Might is done. He, as a pillar, has stopped in his tracks, so they have to move on past. So that's what that meant, seeing Bakugo and Izuku, even though it looked visually that they were behind him, they are actually in front of him, moving on. So that's cool. I like that visual in the opening. But okay, let's get into the episode. So this episode, obviously, everybody's going to be talking about Hatsume Mei. I know everybody's going to be talking about her because of that glorious Opie scene. Oh my god, like, I admit, when I first saw that in the manga, I think it was chapter 100, I would have to check out the cross-check or whatever, but I believe it was chapter 100 when that happened, and it was like a big pinnacle or a turning point for the series, because 100 chapters, it was a big moment, because not a lot of manga, usually make it there. A lot of shonen get axed, and so I was very proud when we got to chapter 100. I think Horikoshi kind of like, he celebrated himself doing something he normally doesn't do, which is fan service. Because when you think about My Hero Academia, it doesn't have a lot of fan service, really. I mean, I know many might try to point out, like, Midnight or, Mount Lady, but in reality, they're not really fan service. And a lot of the scenes we do get in the anime, they're over-exaggerated compared to the manga, which, no complaints whatsoever. I'm just saying that in the manga, it's very tame. Yes, there's fan service, but there's usually not a whole lot. And it was the first time that Horikoshi was truly direct with his fan service, like, straight up direct. And I thought it was like, you know what, it's kind of tasteful, because you don't normally normally get this often, and it's like, I'll put up with it and approve for now, and it was just a very enjoyable moment, especially because when you think about Mei as a character, Hatsume, she doesn't really care about that. You can see that she doesn't actually care about Izuku in terms of wanting to form a relationship with him in terms of romantic-wise. She's just interested in his costume and being, you know, someone that makes gadgets and stuff for science and all that. That's all she cares about. So the entire scene is just pretty hilarious because she doesn't care about that whatsoever. And it breaks kind of the similar mold we normally get to where, you know, the girl character would be very embarrassed, shocked, or slap the MC. That did not happen. You didn't have it to where Mei slapped Izuku and all that because of that scene. You know, just straight up, she was just going along with the flow, trying to be able to invent more gadgets and stuff, which, like I said, is pretty pleasing. I have to say, it was probably one of the best ways to reintroduce Hatsume as a character, because Hatsume, she has been out of the spotlight for a good long while. When you think about the last time she was in the series, it's around Season 2. And even though Season 2 doesn't seem like that long ago, it kind of was. That was last year in the anime. And that was, whew, at that time, this was chapter 100. I believe it was like chapter 60s or 70s. No, it might even be earlier than that, maybe 50s, to when we last saw Hatsume. So it was a good long while since we saw her character. And it was kind of like this was reintroducing her back into the story, letting us know that she is going to be critical to the story moving forward, which I will admit, she is very important, and I think that's not really a spoiler. It's kind of common sense when you think about what role she plays in the series or what she's going to be doing. She is effectively someone that is going to be designing hero costumes, you know, tinkering with costumes to make sure heroes have what they need to be able to take down villains. So it's not necessarily a spoiler whatsoever, just Mei is going to be incredibly important. Like, she may not be a hero, she may not be on the front lines with Izuku and Bakugo and all of them, but I mean, she's going to be able to make their gadgets, their costumes, so they can fight more efficiently. So yeah, her character's reintroduction basically lets us know that Horikoshi has a lot he wants to do with her, and she is not going to be useless, and she's going to always have a presence from this point moving forward, which, little minor spoilers, she is important. That's all I'm going to say. So anyways, I love the way her personality was expanded upon. We already knew she loved her baby, she loved her gadgets and stuff. This was established back in the tournament stuff in Season 2. But when you see her in this episode, it's like to a whole new level of how she's really fascinated about gadgets and stuff, costumes, and wanting to tinker with stuff no matter what. And she doesn't let failures, you know, get her down and make her stop. She continues pressing forward to improve herself. For instance, every time a gadget fails, she doesn't let it get her down. She just continues moving forward, goes to making the next thing and all that, which is absolutely hilarious, but also shows a lot about her character and how she's going to help out Izuku throughout his journey. I mean, she wants to make certain adjustments to his costume to where he can actually move without breaking his arms like paper mache, and also he's gotten new additions to his outfit which allow him to use shoot style, which you see in this episode. So he's slowly changing his costume, it's developing slightly, little minor changes here and there, but in reality though, Mei is the one that's going to be helping him out with this for the time being. That's what was even stated by Power Loader, is that you need to, understand and respect the relationship and be satisfied with the relationship you have with Mei right now, because she's going to be very critical to all of you in the future. You better cherish it while you have it. So yeah, good stuff. I just like Mei's reintroduction, and I can't wait to see more of her in the anime. I especially love her voice actor. I forgot how great her voice actor was from Season 2, but now after seeing her again, I'm like, it couldn't have been a more perfect voice actor for her, just because of how her character was portrayed. But okay, anyways, let's see, let's talk about the miscellaneous of that scene real quick. Let's talk about the power suit that Izuku donned. Okay, when I first read the manga, I might have mentioned it in my review. I could be wrong. I might have mentioned, like, Halo, but the power suit looks a lot like Mark V or Mark VI from the Halo series. If you have ever played Halo or know about Halo, you might know about the iconic, Master Chief suit, his armor and all that, Mark V, Mark VI, and when you look at the power armor that Izuku was wearing, that Mei put on him, it looked like Mark V. It really did. And like I said, I don't remember if I ever mentioned that in the manga chapter review I did, but after looking at it in the anime, like, whoa, that really does look like Mark V. And the whole twisting of the body armor and all that to where his back was about to break, that also was very similar to a scene that happened in the novels of Halo. I forget which novel it was, but there was apparently like some point in the novel to where a dude Izuku put on the Spartan armor, and his back literally was about to break, because he tried to move it, and then, like, he kind of broke his back or whatever, because the armor moved a lot more than he anticipated, and I'm like, is Horikoshi, like, slightly referencing Halo in this, or is it just, like, a coincidence? I was very curious about that while watching the episode, but, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. The teaching of All Might. So, All Might, as we know, he wants to be a better mentor. He wants to be a better teacher, and this is something that has become very apparent in recent episodes, that All Might is a failure as a teacher. He might be a great hero, a great icon, an idol to be able to save everybody, but he's not a good teacher. This has been established quite a bit. Even All For One called All Might out on this. Like, he's a crappy teacher. He hasn't taught Izuku pretty much anything. And you can see where he's trying to take steps to develop Izuku, allow him to learn a lot, and try to be his own man. And even though he has a lot of work to do on his teaching skills, he is taking effort and trying, which is leading to character development for All Might. He's trying to take steps forward to being a better man, to now taking upon himself to mentor the next generation. I mean, he tried to, let Izuku know, it's like, you're still trying to imitate me. You should probably stop that. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot he said. When you look at the words that All Might said, it doesn't seem like he said much, but in reality, it holds a lot of weight, because Izuku, he needs to be able to get away from the stigma that is All Might. He needs to become his own hero. Even though he has One For All, which has been passed down from generation to generation, doesn't mean he needs to be an exact carbon copy of All Might. He doesn't. They do not need a hero like that, because we've already seen the mistakes that All Might has made. There's many errors he's made as a hero. I mean, the whole situation with Shigaraki, to, what happened to Nana, to letting his rage fuel him to the point to where he pretty much killed All For One. I mean, when you think about it, All Might hasn't been a really good example. He has failed in some areas, and Izuku doesn't need to become something exactly like All Might. He needs to figure out a proper path to better himself as a hero and surpass All Might. So, All Might trying his best, and I really like that about Horikoshi's writing. Many might, write it off and say it's not really that much in terms of, story progression or character progression, but it really matters, because, All Might's taking it to heart. He's really trying to show that even though he won't be on the front lines anymore to fight or whatever, he still will have some form of presence in the series to help out all the students. I mean, he didn't just pick favorites and also try to help out Izuku, he also is helping out everyone, like Kirishima, Jiro, and all of them. He was trying to help him out. So, just good stuff overall. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's talk about Ochiko. So, Ochiko, she had a very interesting role in this episode. I mean, to the whole Mei scene, to her, trying to improve her quirk, she was absolutely hilarious. And as I've always stated since the very beginning, I've always been a primary, Ochiko and Izuku shipper. Now, as I've said many times in the past in different videos, not just My Hero Academia, if those two don't end up together, they don't end up together. I don't care. I'm not going to let that destroy my enjoyment of the series. I refuse to let that happen. But I've always shipped them two, and seeing the interactions of Ochiko and Izuku throughout this episode was absolutely hilarious. Like, when Mei jumped Izuku and pinned him to the ground, Ochiko's face was priceless. Not even talking about Izuku's face, that was great, but I mean, Ochiko's face, and then the interactions Mei had when she was, like, filling up Izuku and all that, and she's like, she was just an absolute horror, like, she was shocked and all that. I'm like, oh my god, like, it's great, and I mean, just how you could see she was getting a little bit upset, because FYI, just to kind of refresh all of you, Ochiko has feelings for Izuku. It was established in Season 2, and she was slowly developing feelings for him. It was stated, but she doesn't really know how to go out there and express herself to Izuku, but she does have feelings for him. So, we know that she wants to eventually confess to him. The romance is not going to just come out of nowhere if they do end up together, so I like that. It feels very organic, and just seeing her interaction towards Izuku, trying to push him out of the way, get away from Mei and all that, I'm just like, it's great. I mean, she didn't act really jealous, though, which I am proud of her for that. Normally, when you have a main female character that sees someone she likes in that type of situation, she'll either get mad at the main character, or she'll storm off, or, she'll be very jealous or whatever, but we didn't really get to see that. It was more of a shocked expression. It just, I don't know, I appreciate something like that. It's very wholesome, and it's very different from what you would normally see from this type of interaction. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this week's episode of My Hero Academia. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How did you feel about this week's episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Be honest in the comments below. I'm very curious. And with that, guys, I love you. If you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.